So I've been watching Minister Mchunu, Senzo Mchunu, who is the current Minister of Police. I know that, or last I heard, he was probably on suspension or something, but he is still considered as, and he is still referred to as the Minister of Police, or the current Minister of Police, if I may say. Now, there's something that I've noticed as I've been listening to him. Now, Julius Malema has also noticed it, and the chairman of the committee has also noticed it. Now, all three of us have noticed it on three different occasions, but in this particular video, I want to talk about where I've noticed it. Now, take a listen to this.
Can we accept that you certainly had not discussed your impending appointment as Minister of Police with the President or anyone else in a position of influence or authority?
Now, this question is very clear and very straightforward. Like, it's not even a tricky question. The question is, had anyone discussed with you your appointment before you became a minister? Anyone, be it the president or anyone of influence or authority. So ukhona na umuntu oke wakhuluma nawe ukuthi uzoba yiminister before you became the minister? The question is very, very clear. Let's listen to his answer.
No, the President of the Republic is the only one that appoints and instructs that you'll be called. But the first word comes from him, and as it did, it came from him that I'm being appointed as Minister of Police, no one else. So well, I didn't know her name.
I mean, this is your third appointment as a minister in our government, and all three are important. The Minister of Public Administration, we've got a huge administration, public service, of course, and water and sanitation, and now the police portfolio. Mm-hmm. So you're certainly familiar with the workings of government and the workings of state, how the state works, how it operates, and so on.
And then the chairman goes on. He speaks about, well, he mentions that Senzo Mchunu, Minister Senzo Mchunu, has had other portfolios as ministers before. So, which means he's got, a bit of experience on being a minister, right? So he mentions the other portfolios that he's been in as a minister, right? Trying to get to the point that, you've been a minister a couple of times, so you have experience or you have a clue of how these things go. So this is the part where Brother Man now had the opportunity not to answer that, yes, I do have experience, I have been a minister a couple of times, so that we can move on to other topics. Dude goes on and he gives us his whole portfolio, what he's been, what he's doing. Like at that moment, I felt like Senzo Mchunu was back at an interview. It sounded so rehearsed, so HR-like. It was someone who was actually still looking for a job. It just sounded so CV-like. Take a listen.
Yes, I do, especially because prior to that, I'd had an opportunity of being appointed as MEC for Education, that is member of the Executive Council in KZN as far back as 2009, after general elections, and I served there for 4 years. But I went on to get an opportunity appointed as Premier of the province. All of that exposed me before the positions that you've just spoken about. And I may as well add that when I got to the Department of Education, KZN, shortly afterwards, there was some kind of upheaval when one of the unions, SATU, made allegations against top management of the department that I'd just been appointed into. And I had to then deal with that matter, new as I was at that time, in the portfolio. We started by just listening and sort of ignoring what they were saying, but when they showed seriousness about their allegations, I then had to respond, and we investigated the allegations and went through the whole process, and went on to become Premier as well. And at some point, I got confronted with a challenge when one of the HODs, or we were filling up a post in one of the departments there, and when we were on the verge of appointing, then one of the unions, in this instance, NEHAU, made allegations against the individual, and I had to think, what is it that I needed to do? I ended up appointing a panel to investigate those allegations before making final appointment, and then that was followed by a dispute between the individual and myself as Premier, which ended up in the Constitutional Court, and I won it. So that's the experience that I got prior to being given an opportunity as Minister in the Republic.
So you were vindicated in that court case in terms of the way you handled that particular dispute?
Yes.